Ranger fans, we're here with head men's basketball coach Sean Dirden. Coach, it's been a while since we talked. Had a long winter break. Dropped the first two contests of the season and then came back before the break with a big win at Randall. What was the message over the Christmas break, and what were some of the focuses moving into last weekend, which turned out to be the right focuses and the right things to work on with two big wins over Southern Ark and Arkansas Monticello?
No, we went into Christmas break really just making sure we understood that you're going to lose some games, but that we're still growing, we're still learning and building on all our team chemistry, things that we've been doing since the preseason, leading into the season, and that to go back, take this time away, regroup, recharge, and coming back after Christmas break would be all GAC games and. Just being ready to step up to the next, raise our level of play, one more notch, and not get caught up in necessarily wins and losses.
Good. Well, 9-2, 5-1 in the GAC, and now all of a sudden we've got our first number 1 and number 2 showdown in the Great American Conference this Thursday night at Southern Nazarene, and that kind of kicks off the dreaded, from a coaching standpoint, the dreaded 3 games in 5 days that happens every year in the GAC. So what are some of the things that are going to be important going into this heavy stretch of basketball?
Well, we're definitely going to be relying during this stretch as we have all year, and that's kind of what we've been building on our depth. We've been able and fortunate to play some different lineups, move some guys around, get different guys, different styles of play, different ways to attack both defensively and offensively because of that depth. And I think when you go into this 3 games in 5 days, and really it's 5 games in 10 days for us, we have to take off a day a week, so it's really, it hits pretty hard. We're really counting on our depth, and then we're counting on, again, the fact that we're still working on creating that family bond, playing for each other, and then and just settling in, playing as hard as we can with the things that we're trying to do out there.
Good. And from the moment this team stepped on the court, the one thing that was obvious was the emphasis on defense. And Southern Nazarene, across the board statistically, is one of the top offensive teams in just about every category across the conference. We do rank number 1 with only allowing 67.9 points per game. So how do you see that matchup kind of working out, us against them in the 1 versus 2 showdown come Thursday night?
Well, I will say, I thought, granted we were at home and that was a good thing, but I thought the Monticello game was a good preview to some things you can expect going into SNU. I think we're as prepared as we could be to go on the road to SNU here early in conference play with the Emporia games and playing at Artec. So, one, I know the environment isn't going to affect the guys being on the road, but when you talk about scoring offenses, Southern Nazarene is right up there. Arkansas Monticello was 2, I believe they're 3. When you talk about impact players, Monticello had 4 guys averaging 14, 15 points or more. SNU is in the exact same boat with a tremendous sophomore backcourt and Dunn. And then who was the little guard is spaced out on his name? Our big kid, Elijah's high school point guard. Both those guys are 17, 18 tonight. They got 3 guys in the top 10 in the conference in scoring, but they're also one of the better defensive teams. They're right there with us both in conference play and regionally. So I think we're going to see 2 styles that are very similar. We play inside out. They definitely play inside out. They have really good, really strong 3-point shooting. And you've seen Cody and the King Oglesby, and then you've seen a couple other guys kind of pitch in a little bit behind the arc. It's really going to come down to just battle of styles, battle of fit, and then who's making shots that night, because we're very similar.
Good. And then we come back home Saturday night against the Oklahoma Baptist team that can never be underestimated. They're 3-3 right now in the conference. They've shown moments of brilliance and moments of not so brilliance, but they do feature Chandler Rickey, the number 1 scorer in the conference. What's kind of the game plan going against him? He's given this team over the last couple of years some fits. So what's the game plan going against him and Oklahoma Baptist at home on Saturday?
Thursday night at SNU, we're going against a 7-footer who can be very dominant, and then also turn around and on Saturday go against Ricky from OBU. It will present its own challenge in a different way, as he's probably one of the most elite athletes at that position, in any position in the conference, and that's what makes him very difficult. He's one of the top shot blockers. He's one of the top rebounders. Can play above the rim. He's added the three-point shot to his game since last year, and he's only grown more efficient. You know, Trayvon and Cedric and Trey Johnson and Elijah, those guys, they have their hands full. But I think it always, each game comes down, we've looked at it as a staff and presented it to our teams and scout. You know, we really break down the matchups, we really break down the style of play. And one of the things we're going out every night wanting to execute is our 40 minutes of full court pressure and creating a tempo that we know best suits us.
And then on Monday we head down to Weatherford to play that team down south. I know you're excited for that, as is everyone. They struggled a little bit to start off the season, had a coaching change, Coach Johnson taking over there.
Yeah.
You know they're going to be itching for a win. Talk about some of the challenges that is presented when going down to a rivalry game, especially when you're coming off a short break between games.
That's the way it's set up. We always play them, you know, on one-day prep. You know, they're in the same boat, I believe, that we are in when it comes to that. This being my second go-round or third game in this rivalry, I can tell you it's what you coach and it's what you play for, and it's a big part of some of my selling points to recruits because you can throw the records out the door. Yeah, maybe it matters who's coaching, but you know, at this time in this situation, it's Northwestern going against two Northwestern alums and Chris, and so I know he knows us. I know they'll be prepared. Not enough that it's just an away game, but again, it's against our rival, and I think the guys will be excited for our returners. You know, they know what to expect, but I'm excited to see how AJ and Trayvon, Andrews and those guys really and Akeem, how they attack this game and where they put their name at. When people look back on this game, you know, I want to look back and say, hey, Trayvon was able to do this, or you know, AJ accepted the challenge and Akeem stepped up here, because we know what we're going to get from Brandon and Greg and Cody and Trayvon and Cedric. Those guys know they'll be ready. As all with any team, we don't want to get too far ahead. Right now, we got SNU, and our goal is to go 1-0. We want to be 1-0 every time we step out on the court and not look too far ahead.
Good. Well, Coach, it's going to be an exciting couple days of basketball. 3 big games coming up. Catch all the action on RideRangersRide.com or come out and check out the game on Saturday. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.